Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Here's today's video. The beer's courtesy of Billy. Thanks so much, Billy. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. So this is Unkindness, Chapter 3. So I'm really excited to get to try the new version of this. It's 11.5% ABV. It's an Imperial Stout aged in Cabernet and Kentucky Bourbon barrels. So you got two barrels going. That's pretty cool. 27 years. Is their anniversary, 1995 to 2022. Let's see, 27 years ago, as the first shovel struck ground, ravens graced the property where our brewery stands today. Even now, under street lamps at dusk, solitary ravens can still be seen. On very rare occasions, ravens flock together, and that is called an unkindness. For our 27th anniversary, we have aged our classic Raven's Eye Stout in Cabernet and Kentucky Bourbon barrels, with decadent notes of chocolate, oak, black cherry, and espresso. Truly a true celebration, as rare as the unkindness casting shadows on your door. Serve at 95. Serve at 55 degrees, which is exactly what my beer fridge is set at. It's Eel River, and I think Scotia, California. Cool can art. And I think that's everything. Let's get into the beer. Cabernet, I mean, I've had it, but like not regularly, so curious to see what that kicks out for me anyway. Obviously, you know, bourbon barrels I'm pretty well versed in. Unless you're new to the channel, didn't know that. You probably knew that already. Almost exactly one finger. Light mocha, so somewhere between dark khaki and light mocha for that head. It is tiny bubbles, you know, bigger at the top. Really dark brown into light black is the color of the beer itself. Looked kind of like cola as I was pouring it. And once it's in the glass, yeah, definitely some decent amount of brown in there, but super dark also, just not motor oil. It's a short version of that, but you don't come here for the short version. Let's get into the aroma. So they're saying black cherry specifically. I get a nice like chocolate cherry thing. Like cordials almost. Sorry. I got a little mustache here poking up the wrong way. Ooh. That was really nice. Sweet, like caramel mixing with that chocolate, little vanilla with that man, yeah. So like the caramel chocolate vanilla thing, so it's like desserty. It's totally that adult dessert thing that I've said many times. I know that people have said as well, like that elevated dessert thing. But then it gets some nice oak tannins, bringing it back down a little bit in terms of like, and it's the perception of sweetness, I know, but like almost like providing balance to the aroma. A thing I don't talk about a lot, but like how it tastes, you know, you want balance typically. Not, well, depending on what you're looking for and what the beer is, I suppose, but usually, you know, a balanced beer with the taste. It's interesting to kind of get some notes of that in the aroma. Yeah, for me, it's cherry. It doesn't quite go roasty enough, at least in the aroma, for espresso at all, like they're saying maybe in the taste. Yeah. I'm sure I could keep saying things if I kept going, but for some sort of brevity, let's keep it going. Cheers. Thanks again, Billy. Ooh. Immediately, this is one of those beers that falls into that. It tastes good and it's different and interesting, so that's why I'm kind of amped up on it. Chocolate, there is more roast in the taste than I didn't get any in the aroma, right? No point was I like this, would I say like this is roasty, and even commented like where they get this espresso from essentially. In the taste, nice roastiness. It doesn't, and not that they're saying it tastes like they added espresso beans, but like you can totally get this roast from just like malt, right? But like it does have a nice roastiness. Like I was saying, the aroma, it's just one of those things helping provide balance to this beer. Definitely not an oversweet beer. But you get those elevated dessert notes. I do get a little caramel, a little bit of vanilla, chocolate for sure. Dark chocolate mostly. Some of those oak tannins like I was picking up in the aroma, they're are there as well. Definitely, you have pretty big flavors. You have easily defined flavors. There's some other stuff going on. I'm going to have to go in for another sip to try to pull out. Definitely some other stuff going on, so there's some complexity to it. But definitely a nice balance holistically. A little bit more of that wood, almost like reminds me of like cherry wood, because I get cherry and wood specifically, and it kind of like is morphed together. Yeah, it's a dark chocolate, and that roast helps, make it seem, higher cacao count kind of dark chocolate. But it's not like fudgy or brownie. It's more like you bit into a pretty serious dark chocolate bar, going into like just cacao powder kind of a chocolate, but you get that roastiness too. It is, on that sip, less sweet. Not that I was selling it as a particularly sweet beer, but like the caramel thing is pretty subtle. The vanilla from the barrel aging, pretty subtle. I think this one thing I'm like having a hard time in my mind thinking of, so I haven't even tried to articulate it. I'm thinking it's the Cabernet barrels. I'm getting more wood, how I associate wood in wine. This happened. Well, you won't have seen this video yet. I'm gonna post this video before a video that also was double barrel aged. Excuse me. And that one, and I'm experiencing a really similar thing here. That one, not to spoil it too much, was bourbon and Scotch whiskey. And I got, and I did this with Keith from 93 Lumber, and he as well. We talked way more and got way more of the Scotch whiskey, and the bourbon just couldn't fight its way through over the Scotch, apparently, from what we were tasting. And the exact same thing is happening here, I believe, where I'm not getting a lot of bourbon, but I am getting a lot of barrel aging, and I think there's like this little X factor attached, and I think that's the Cabernet specifically. It just makes the most sense. So what were they saying again? Chocolate, yep. Oak. I mean, I keep saying barrel, but it's oak barrel, so yeah, same thing. Black cherry. To me, it was more of a chocolate-covered cherry, not black cherry for me. And espresso, again, it's roasty. I don't go as far as saying coffee or espresso, but like it is a nice roasty beer. So like I would say my notes are pretty similar to theirs. They don't mention anything like caramel, but again, it's like a soft sweetness from a caramel note. It's not a dominant thing. Like the chocolate, way more. The roast, way more. The oak, way more. So like totally you don't want to list like every possible thing you're tasting. And anyway, I think I've satisfied this beer review. I think I did. It's been a long day. I'm kind of tired, if I'm being honest. One of the reasons I went for a bigger beer, I'm like, you know what? You've had a day. Not a bad day, just a long day. But yeah, Billy, thanks again for sending it. I really appreciate it, man. Again, I hope you're doing well. Have you guys had this beer before? Have you had any of this series? Have you had anything else from Eel River? If you had a beer that sounds similar, if you had a beer aged in Cabernet barrels, anything, everything, comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. No Hype beer reviews at both those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.